Have you ever sat motionless in front of your screen, opening your to-do list, but unable to start anything? Not because you're lazy, not because you don't have goals, but because you don't feel motivated anymore. So you go to YouTube, find a video that sparks your fire, an energetic speaker, a dramatic soundtrack, a quote like, "Get up and do something great." You watch, you get excited, then a few minutes later, you're back to square one, empty and exhausted. You think again, I lack motivation. But maybe you've misunderstood the problem. You're not lacking motivation. You're just distracted. You don't lack goals. You just can't keep your attention long enough to see them through. The world you live in, from phone notifications, social media, ads, is constantly disrupting your mental flow of attention. It makes you jump from one idea to the next, from important tasks to 15-second videos, from projects you've been working on to short-term reactions that don't get you any further. Maybe you plan to do some focused work this morning, but less than 10 minutes after you sit down, a text message arrives. You open your phone, reply, scroll through a few more, an interesting link, a suggested video, then another, and another. An hour passes, and you're left with a feeling of unease. You sigh. Why am I so unmotivated? No, you are not lacking. You are swept away. You're distracted by dozens of unrelated things, and every time you're pulled away from your train of thought, it takes your brain nearly 20 minutes to regain its original focus. The problem isn't that you lack the willpower. It's that you've never been given the opportunity to stay still long enough to do deep work. In a world where everyone talks about doing more, few talk about what you need. Remove. What is happening? Attention eroding your day. What makes you believe that I have no motivation, when the real problem comes from somewhere else? And if you want to regain initiative in your work, clarity in your thinking, inspiration to continue pursuing your goals, you don't need to look for more motivation. You need to learn how to protect your concentration. In the next section, we'll start where people most often get it wrong. Why you think that you're lacking motivation, when in fact you're just constantly distracted. Have you ever felt this way? You wake up in the morning. You know what you need to do, but you can't seem to get out of bed. You scroll through your phone, watch some motivational videos, see people working out, starting businesses, achieving success, and you think, I need to get better. But 5 minutes later, you're still lying there. Your mind is heavy. Your body is sluggish. You blame yourself for being lazy, having no goals, no motivation. But the truth may be quite the opposite. You're not lacking motivation. You're just lost in a world addicted to instant gratification. Blank. Underscore. Blank. We live in an age where inspiration is served like fast food. Bored? Open TikTok. Are you lacking energy? Watch an inspirational reel. Out of ideas? Watch YouTube. Listen to a podcast. Inspiration is now as easy as pressing a button. It's a myth that if we watch a good enough video, listen to someone good enough, we'll take action. But then what happens? We watch and still do nothing. That's because your brain is being tricked by dopamine, the neurotransmitter that creates a temporary feeling of euphoria. When you watch an energetic video, dopamine is released and makes you feel like you're achieving something. But in reality, you're just consumed sense of accomplishment, not really create achievements. It's like watching someone else work out and thinking, "I'm doing great," but you're still sitting there, on the couch, doing nothing, blank, underscore, blank. Gradually, your brain becomes addicted to the effortless high. And when you're faced with tasks that require real focus, like studying, working, creating, the dopamine doesn't release as quickly. You feel bored, tired, unmotivated. You complain, "I'm tired, I have no energy." But it's not necessarily physical fatigue. It's mental overload from having to constantly shift attention, constantly being pulled by flashy, but depthless things, blank, underscore, blank. And you know what's most dangerous? Just when you think, "I lack motivation," you continue to search for more inspirational content. You fall into a loop. Watch for inspiration, right pointing arrow, feel good temporarily, right pointing arrow, do nothing, right pointing arrow, feel bad again, right pointing arrow, watch again. And that cycle makes you believe you're not good enough, when in fact, you're just being sucked into a biological mechanism that wasn't built for today's technology. Blank, underscore, blank. So next time you feel tired and unmotivated, take a break. Don't rush to turn on an inspirational video. Ask yourself, am I really exhausted? Or am I just so distracted that I can't sustain my attention long enough to take meaningful action? Because sometimes, the problem isn't that you lack fire. It's that you've never stayed still long enough for the fire to get lit. You know, distractions don't always have to be loud. It doesn't always come in the form of a notification bell, a half-played TikTok video, or a just 5 minutes invitation from a friend. There are some distractions that are very quiet, but they are the ones that are silently destroying your internal motivation system, bit by bit. We often think, "I'm distracted because there are too many distractions in the environment." But in reality, many distractions don't come from outside. They come from within. I call them the silent conversations in my head, the little thoughts, the vague worries, the whispers like, "Can I do it? What if it fails? Where should I start? Does anyone care what I do?" Blank, underscore, blank. We often don't realize it, but it's those whispers that stop you before you even start. And here are the 3 most common types of distraction, not from outside, but from within you. 1. Distracted by the expectation of perfection. You start a project, and immediately feel pressure to get it perfect, to do it right. Then, instead of doing it, you spend hours thinking about the perfect way to do it. In the end, you do nothing. Expecting perfection not only kills action, it also kills the motivation to start. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start consistently. Blank, underscore, blank. 2. Distracted by silent comparison. You see other people succeeding, working effectively, having thousands of followers, having a clear roadmap, and you are at the first step. Your mind starts whispering, "I must not be good enough." And that's when you stop trying. But remember, you're only seeing other people's results, not their progress. You don't see their failures, their nights of self-doubt, their days when they wanted to give up just like you did. Comparison is one of the most subtle distractions, because it not only takes away focus, but also takes away confidence in yourself. Blank, underscore, blank. 3. Distracted by invisible fears. This is the most powerful, and the most dangerous. You procrastinate not because you are lazy, but because you are afraid. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, afraid that I will give it my all and still fail. And instead of facing that fear, you find ways to keep yourself busy with things smaller, easier, safer, like cleaning up the desk, checking emails, surfing social media to relieve stress. But that kills real progress. You don't have to be fearless to act. You just have to dare to do it in spite of your fear. That's true courage. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The most dangerous distraction isn't the phone in your pocket. It's the little voice in your head, always procrastinating, always finding reasons not to do something today. If you don't realize it, you'll continue to think you're unmotivated, when in reality, you're just letting petty thoughts steal your focus. Blank. Underscore. Blank. So how do we escape this silent spiral of distraction? We'll get to that in the next section. How to redesign a centralized system, and why focus is not a natural talent, but it is a skill you can absolutely practice. We grow up with the belief that to do something important, we need motivation. We hear it everywhere. You need to find your motivation. Motivate others. I can't do it because I'm not motivated. But here's the truth that few people want to admit. Motivation isn't reliable. It's not sustainable. And it's not the foundation on which to build any long-term achievements in your life. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You don't need to feel motivated to start. You need discipline. Think about it. Do you notice that successful people don't talk about motivation? They don't sit around waiting for inspiration to strike. They don't need an inspirational video every morning to get them going. They have a system in place to get them going, even if it's raining. They're in a bad mood, or they're physically exhausted. Successful people are not always full of enthusiasm. They are simply people who commit to action, even when they don't feel like it. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I will tell you a story. An author was once asked, "How do you find inspiration to write every day?" He answered very briefly, "I only write when I feel inspired." But luckily, inspiration always strikes at 9 a.m. every day, when I sit down at my desk. That answer contains a crucial truth. Action leads to inspiration, not the other way around. Blank. Underscore. Blank. But most of us think, "I'm not ready," and so we wait. Wait until we feel more excited, more confident, more ready. But the readiness you are waiting for, it never comes. Because readiness is not a feeling. It is the result of action. You only feel confident when you dare to start. You only feel motivated once you have taken the first few steps. You only feel in the groove when you was in the swing. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Imagine standing at the edge of a swimming pool, legs shaking, heart pounding, thinking, "I'm not ready to jump in." But it's only when you actually jump in the water, despite your fear, that your body adjusts. That you learn how to swim. That you can swim. If you wait for the feeling ready to happen, you'll just stand there, watching others swim, wondering why they had the courage, and you didn't. Blank. Underscore. Blank. The important question is not, "Do I feel like doing it today?" The question should be, "What systems do I have in place to help me do it? Even when I don't feel ready?" A system doesn't have to be complicated. It can start with a fixed schedule, a separate workspace, a clear commitment to yourself or to someone else. One small action repeated every day. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Because you can't control how you feel every morning, but you can control the structure of action you put in place. And it is those structures that will take you far, without waiting for some fine day. Blank. Underscore. Blank. So, if you're sitting there, waiting for the excitement to kick in, stop it. Motivation is the dessert, but discipline is the main course. And if you really want to change your life, start with action, not feeling. Have you ever wondered, why is it that some days you work like a machine, efficiently, creatively, energized, and other days you can barely get a single task done? We often blame it on lack of motivation, but the truth is, you might just be doing it at the wrong time. Each of us has our own energy cycle. Some people are like early birds, alert and sharp in the morning. Others are more in tune with the afternoon or even late at night. When they are most creative, there is no one-size-fits-all formula. But the important thing is, you need to listen to yourself. Instead of trying to fit yourself into a schedule that doesn't work for you. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Take a few days just to observe yourself. When do you feel full of ideas? When do you fall into a state of deep concentration, working tirelessly? And conversely, when do you feel your mind is dull and your body is sluggish? Understanding your peak energy times and scheduling important tasks during those times can completely transform your life's productivity. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And remember this, focus is a skill, not an inborn trait. You are not born distracted. You just haven't learned how to train your attention. Think of your mind as a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it gets weak. If you constantly let it get pulled by social media, notifications, messages, then don't be surprised if you can't sit still for 10 minutes to read, study, or do anything that requires depth. The good news is, any skill can be trained. You can rebuild your ability to focus day by day, little by little. But the first thing you need to do is not add more, but turn off some. Blank. Underscore. Blank. We often think, I need to do more. No. First, you need to do less and do the right thing. Whenever you feel overwhelmed or lost, don't ask, how can I find more time? Ask, what do I need to cut out? Because distraction isn't always noise. Sometimes it comes from excess, too many tabs open, too many goals at once, too many unfinished tasks. Blank. Underscore. Blank. And finally, don't take your living environment for granted. We often think, as long as I have enough determination, I can do anything. But science has proven the opposite. Your behavior is not determined by will, but by environment. A space that is cluttered, poorly lit, and full of distractions will pull you out of your state of focus. No matter how strong you are, design your living space as if you were redesigning your life. Minimalist desk. Keep your phone out of reach. Use noise-canceling headphones if necessary. Have a set time and space for deep work, uninterrupted. Deep work. Blank. Underscore. Blank. If you ever feel like, I can't concentrate, it's not because you're weak. but because you're playing an unfair game with your environment, equipment, schedule, and habits not on your side. The good news is, you can change that entire system, not by willpower, but by smart strategy, because focus is not a mystical thing. It is the result of a system you actively create to help you win every day. Do you ever feel like you are living in a storm? Everything is happening so fast. The news, social media, expectations, pressures from work, family, even little things like the looks of others or a negative comment, it all seems to pull you away from yourself. You try to control everything, but the more you try, the more tired you become. And maybe that's when you need a silence, a pillar of stability amidst the chaos. And for me, Stoic philosophy is that pillar. _blank. The Stoics had a very simple, yet extremely profound, principle of life. Focus only on what you can control. It may sound obvious, but think about your day. You worry about what other people think of you. You get annoyed when there is traffic jam, when it rains, when deadlines are pressing. You are angry because someone treated you unfairly. You are frustrated because you are not as good as others. All of those things you can't control. You can't control the weather, or other people's emotions, or the past. And because of you trying to control things that are not yours, you lose the only thing you truly possess: attention. _blank. Stoic philosophy does not tell you to cut yourself off from the world. It teaches you a way of living, to keep the world from getting out of your mind. They believe that focus is not stress, it is presence. You don't have to brace yourself, lock your mind, force yourself to be perfect. You just need to be here, fully, for what is happening right now. When you are writing, just write. When you are eating, just eat. When you are talking, really listen. It sounds simple, but in a chaotic world, presence is a revolutionary act. _blank. Stoicism also emphasized a very important point. Don't live reactively, live proactively. You can't stop someone from insulting you, but you can choose how you respond. You can't stop difficulties from coming, but you can choose how you deal with them. In an age where human emotions are easily controlled by algorithms, by clickbait, by comparison, maintaining autonomy in thought and action is one of the highest forms of freedom. And that's how you overcome distraction, not by fighting it, but by reaffirming what's truly worthy of your attention. _blank. If you're feeling scattered, try stopping. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I putting my energy into what I can really control? Am I being present or reacting out of habit? _blank. Focus doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from letting go. Less control, less comparison, less reaction. Keep only what is important, and have the courage to live slowly in a world that is living too fast. If there's one thing you take away from watching this video, let it be this: you don't need more motivation. You need to regain your attention. We live in an age where everything is competing for your attention and time: phones, social media, emails, news, notifications. The only thing that really matters now is not your time, but where your attention is. _blank. You see, every time you say, "I'm not motivated," You're probably saying another way of saying, I can no longer focus on what is important. Because motivation doesn't disappear, it's just stolen by too much junk. Too much short-term gratification but long-term nonsense. Blank. Underscore. Blank. Ask yourself a serious question. What am I letting control my attention? Are you letting your attention be led by the endless stream of content on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels? Are you wasting mental energy on online arguments, negative news, or comparing yourself to others? Or are you actively choosing where you're going to put your attention, on the things that actually help you grow? Help you live the life you want? Blank. Underscore. Blank. Imagine you are holding a flashlight in your hand. Wherever you shine, there life begins. If you shine light on everything randomly, you will not see anything clearly. But if you focus the light on one point, everything starts to become clear. That's the power of attention. And you get to choose where you shine that light. Blank. Underscore. Blank. I know, living in this day and age and staying focused is not easy. It's really hard. I've been lost too. I've spent hours on things that kept me busy, but didn't move me forward. I thought I needed more inspiration, more advice, someone to push me, but then I realized what I really needed was the clarity to recognize where I was being pulled, and the courage to pull myself back. Blank. Underscore. Blank. You can't change the world is getting louder, but you can build yourself a quiet space, a place where you master your attention. Turn off unnecessary things. Delete tabs that distract you. Keep the things that keep you present. Protect your time, mind, and energy as if they were your most precious assets, because they are. Blank. Underscore. Blank. So next time you feel unmotivated, don't ask, how can I get more motivated? Ask, what am I letting control my attention? And remember, he who controls his attention controls his entire life. If you've made it this far, it's no coincidence. Maybe the universe is whispering that you are ready for a deeper journey, a journey of awakening. Understanding yourself and transcending yourself. This video is not just theory. It is the essence of experience, of years of reflection, things that are not easy to find in this noisy world. And if just one idea in this video makes you stop and think, then maybe you've already started to change. I can't promise you a transformation overnight, but if you practice patiently, after just a few months, your thinking, perception and energy will be completely different. If you connected with what you just heard, please leave a like to let me know you're on board. And don't forget to subscribe to continue our journey of inner discovery together. Welcome to the Stoic Enlightenment era, where all change begins from within.